Hey insurance, this is Tony Kanyas, Chief Motivational Officer at Insurance Nerds and a PNC Client Advisor at the Jacobson Group. I am still out traveling. I am still in Hartford, Connecticut, although you will notice that my background is different today because I have ADD and I accidentally reserved only one night in the other hotel and they were packed for tonight. So I ended up switching hotels, but it all worked out. Today I am answering a question from a viewer. And this set of questions to be exact, came from Christian Lizarazu. I don't know how to pronounce that. I think it's a Spanish last name like mine. This question came in from Christian Lizarazu, IT business analyst, customer-focused digital product owner, consultant, process improvement evangelist, and change agent in the Philadelphia area at Munich Re, so Princeton to be exact, Princeton, New Jersey. So anyway, Christian sent in a message asking a few questions. And the biggest one I want to focus on is his last question, which is about failures and what I've learned in the past from failures. But first, I want to answer the first few questions. So question number one, why Superman? Question number two, why not Iron Man? Is it because green screens are your kryptonite? So why Superman? Well, as it turns out, Tony's actually, I am not a big comic book person. It's really funny. People come to me all the time and say, "Oh, so you're a big DC guy. What about Marvel?" And my answer is, I'm not really a comic book person. In fact, I haven't seen almost any comic book movies in the last few years. I don't really read comic books. But growing up, I always really liked the Superman iconography. And it just so happened that I was wearing a Superman shirt for good luck underneath my button-down shirt when I presented about millennials in insurance at CPCU Anaheim 2014, which is when my speaking career really launched. And then for the next several years, every speaking invite I got was from people that watched me give that first presentation, and I kept doing the Superman shirt, and it just became my brand. So why not Iron Man? I just didn't happen to be into the Iron Man iconography. There's really no science to it. Is it because green screens are your kryptonite? Kind of. So some of our video creators, like Nick Lamparelli and like John Bachman, are amazing in front of a green screen. I've never tried it. It looks like a lot more work for the editing. So for now, no green screen for me. It might come eventually, but for now, no green screen for me. I actually met Christian in person when I spoke about millennials to the New Jersey CPCU Society last week. And so his question is, Tony, when you told the audience about the solutions, some of them gasp because it requires effort and time. What would you say to the gaspers? Okay, it's really very simple. I go back to one of my heroes in the space of generational issues, Jason Ryan Dorsey, the founder of the Center for Generational Kinetics. In his book, Why Size Your Business, why like the letter Y, size your business, he talks about why should you change your business and the way you do business for millennials. And the answer is because they have the numbers, basically. It's that simple. You don't have to change, but if you don't, you're going to, little by little, and at some point really quickly, not be able to attract great talent. And that is a big deal for your business. And in your industry, if you're on the agency side, you could see the disappearance of your agency over time. And if you're on the carrier side, it's unlikely you'll see the disappearance of the carrier that you worked with for decades and that you love, but it could definitely lead to negative changes in the carrier that you love, and that's not what you want, right? So that's why basically. That's why we have to adapt to millennials and Gen Zers in insurance, because if we don't, they will vote with their feet, and they won't stay in your company. They won't even stay in the industry, since they didn't grow up wanting to work in insurance. And that we get to his biggest question, and I have like 5 minutes left to address it. What is your biggest failure, and did you learn anything from it? I've had my fair share of failures. I was never able to get through Calc 1. I attempted 5 times. I wanted to be a computer science major in college, and obviously not being able to get through Calc 1, that didn't happen. I ended up graduating with a business degree, but that's not my biggest failure. I'm divorced, and even that's not my biggest failure. Probably the biggest error was getting married too early, when neither of us were quite ready for it. Really, my biggest failure was Nationwide Financial Leadership Rotation Program, or FLRP. FLRP is an elite program meant to recruit recent graduates from big schools. Half of them undergrads with finance degrees, the other half MBAs, into Nationwide, get them to move to Columbus, Ohio, and its purpose is to identify the future CFOs for the different businesses at Nationwide. It's a fast-paced leadership development program, and I came in as an internal candidate, which was rare. I came in as an internal candidate, and I had my MBA not in finance specifically. Excuse me, I had my MBA not in finance specifically, and I came into the program as an internal candidate, and I was supposed to be 3 or 4 6-month rotations, and then you would supposed to place in a G or H band role, which is basically a manager or director level role. So it really is a career accelerator. So I got into this program, and getting in was hard, but I got in, and I thought it was a career maker. I thought that I would graduate from the program into an H band director level role and basically be set for life. And instead, I failed. I at the end of my first rotation, which was in Scottsdale, Arizona, my leadership was concerned, and they communicated that concern, that my quality of work was not quite up to par. And so they specifically hand chose a second rotation for me, this time in the Nationwide National Partners area, and with under a manager who had a reputation for being fantastic at developing her people. I again failed. I was not able to do the level of finance work that they required. This was very, very hard. And halfway through my second rotation, the leadership informed me that they would not be giving me a third rotation. And basically they said, if you had been an external hire, you'd be getting fired right now. This conversation would be very different. But since you were an internal hire, and since you have this passion for insurance, for Nationwide, you're a CPCU, you have a solid history in your prior career with Nationwide, first as a claims adjuster and then especially as an underwriter, we want to keep you in the company. So use the last couple of months of this rotation to figure out where you want to go within the company, and we'll help you get there. And I came, this was just very, very heartbreaking, because I had tried hard and it just hadn't worked. And basically I came back and I said, okay, I want to be either a sales manager or an underwriter. Help me get there. I go back to underwriting or go to become a sales manager. And they helped me, and I ended up landing in the Allied office in Sacramento as an inside sales manager, and basically I failed forward. But the big thing I learned is to focus on my strengths. Going into a finance job, it was a heavy analytical job, and I don't have the analytical chops. I don't have the analytical aptitude. And several times in the past, I had been tempted, and I had applied for analytical type jobs, because early in your career they pay really well. There's significant promotions coming from claims or from underwriting. So the big lesson I learned is to lean on my strengths. My strengths are more in the sales, communication, relationship management, motivation, maybe even HR type areas, not in a heavy analytical type role. So the biggest advice that I have for you, Christian, and for everybody out there is lean on your strengths. Don't be afraid to take a risk, an educated risk, a calculated risk. And if you're not failing, you're not growing. If you're not failing, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. So fail every once in a while. Basically, push yourself hard enough that every once in a while you fail, but then learn from those failures and learn from my failure, and lean on your strengths. And the easiest way to do that is to go through the Strengths Finder program. Read the Strengths Finder book, take the test, and maybe go through a coach like Amy Waninger, which I'm actually about to do in a couple of weeks, and lean on your strengths, not your weaknesses. So anyway, that's all I've got for today. This video might have run a little bit long, and I apologize. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Insurance Nerds channel and the Insurance Nerdery channel on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about it. TC out.